On, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast. And it seems like it's always every 2 or 3 months I go on hiatus, but guys, everything is all right. Man, life is lifing. Things are going great. If you're listening to this on Apple, on Spotify, on any of the podcast platforms, make sure you subscribe. I think a lot of the platforms have an option of subscribing to download the episode. Man, I thank you guys for chiming in, listening, giving me your ear for about 30 minutes for me to talk. Shout out to all of my supporters across the world. I'm always telling everybody when I look at my stats and my analytics, I see, man, people from all over the globe that tune in to the podcast now. Since I haven't been on here for like 2 months, I want to make sure that everybody is chiming back in. Go check out some old episodes because I have a lot of good basketball information, a lot of good basketball knowledge, have some special guests on a lot of old shows. And it's good for conversation. When you listen to these episodes, whenever you get around to listening to them, whether if you're a parent, whether if you're a coach, an administrator, or just a casual sports fan, then you can get a lot of good information from these podcasts on the different topics that we may pose from day in and day out. Not a whole lot of foolery. We have time for that, but This is going to be a good episode. Like I said, it's going to probably be the first one in 2025. Appreciate you guys chiming in. If you're listening to this and watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't ask folks for a lot of donations and money and all these good things. And I just ask you to like the video. First of all, watch the video, like the video, possibly make a comment if you liked it or not, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications because what I want to start doing, I want to start cranking out different videos as far as content, whether if it's the interview style, me doing a monologue, kind of talking about some different things, or me posting videos on my day-to-day. One thing about coaching, it's a lifestyle. So someone who's always in the gym, who's always, building relationships with people, I want to make sure that I kind of share it with folks. And it's always good to just see and hear from the things that I might say as a coach. And then if you're a player, if you're a parent, and you hear other people kind of talking about the same thing, that it's pretty much law. So again, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, any of those things, subscribe to the channel. YouTube, like button, subscribe. Make sure that we pumping this content out there. Always, we have a $20 off on your first purchase. Team SeatGeek, use promo code Coach Turner for $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek has been real good to me. I need to start cranking that out a little bit more so you guys can kind of know that any concert, any comedy show, any event, go to SeatGeek.com. Look and see if we have tickets for that event. If we do, snatch them up. If you're a first-time user, you get $20 off your first purchase. I mean, everybody likes a deal, so I want to keep constantly putting that out there for folks to take advantage of that. We kind of talked about this already. Making sure you like and subscribe to the channel. So let's get right into the show. What's been going on? All right. Basketball season for me right now, we are currently 7-6, and we've been playing a nationally ranked schedule. So I mean, it's been a lot of basketball. I think I looked up one time and we had played more basketball games than a lot of teams around here. So for the holidays, we kind of took a little break. We've been practicing, we've been in the gym, we've been working out, but I've been making sure that these guys get a little rest. We have some folks that are banged up. But at the end of the day, this is sport. This is all part of it. You got to make sure that you take care of your body, which makes me kind of go into what my subject is going to be about today. And the title of this is playing at a high level of basketball at age 40. All right. Playing at a high level in basketball at age 40. And I'm talking about none other than one of the GOATs, not the GOAT, but one of the GOATs in LeBron James. And if you've been following this channel, if you've been following me and tuning in to me, I'm a huge LeBron James fan. I don't do a whole lot of the back and forth slander that you see a lot of folks online and a lot of folks on shows doing, because at the end of the day, the feat that this man has been able to do has been pretty much miraculous. You don't see that many guys doing things like he's doing, playing at a high level at this age. And that's what we're going to kind of get into, because it's just kind of like, have we seen this before? Is it a situation where we ever see it again? What's going on with today's athlete that they haven't been able to continue and play constantly, kind of like how this guy's been doing? So we're going to kind of talk about it. All right. And I'm going to throw some things out there that may not be, it may be on, it may not, folks' radar, but I just want to make sure that we kind of tapped into it. So LeBron James. All right. LeBron James. And I want to show, let me see if I can share my screen. For those who are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to share my screen. For those who are listening, I'm going to kind of talk about what this article is kind of referring to. So let's see if we can get this hooked up. All right. So this story is coming from a website I like to go to called Basketball Forever, and it's one of the latest news stories. And it's actually from January the 1st. And it says LeBron reflects on playing at a high level in basketball at age 40. So hence that the conversation that we want to kind of start and kind of talk about that, this guy's been playing for a very, very long time. Some of the quotes that he had, and all of this was reflecting back on his, he had a 40th birthday party, I think last week. And he said, quote, I had a decade of the 30s. So to just wake up and just be like, oh shoot, damn, you're 40. It's kind of laughable. Really, I know where I am, see where I am, still playing the game at a high level, still being such a young man, but in the old scheme of things of how many years I have been a professional. Okay. So a couple things that just kind of stood out from just reading that little part is that at the end of the day, age is nothing just but a mentality. I'm going to repeat that. Age is nothing but a mentality for a lot of folks, because the first thing that you think about is when you ask somebody how old they are is, well, damn, they don't look it. You don't look 40. You don't look this. You don't look that. And that's the truth in my eyes. I feel like at any given point, when I start feeling old, then that's when I started really looking at and really breaking down the fact, like, man, I've actually been here for a long time. So I want to just tell a little quick story about, just about my personal journey. So here I am. I was born in 1981. And if you know anything about the 80s, man, the 80s was just such a beautiful time in America. We had a great middle class. Even though, I grew up in the hood, North St. Louis, Ashland, Vanderbilt, Natural Bridge, Fairground Park, the Greaterville neighborhood of St. Louis. I never really looked at my upbringing as being problematic, being such a big deal that we lived on the north side. Everything that's glorified now about St. Louis is just, it's a lot of negative press that's going on. I'll just say it. It's a lot of negative press that gets centered around St. Louis. But like I said, back in the 80s, we had everything. You had everything that you can think of. Everything was on the rise. Man, beautiful Christmases, beautiful family reunions, man, everything, man. I think the only problem that I had back in the day was whether or not I wanted to cry when I crashed my big wheel or crashed my bike. But it was the time. Every summer we had everything. Every summer you got new bikes, skateboards, toys, balls, all these different things that you could think of. 80s was just beautiful. Get up in the 90s, the 90s was a rough time. We dealt with a lot of gang banging. We dealt with a lot of, just emulating the things that you see in the movies, things that you see in the news, things that you see or listen to in music. That's what you had in the 90s, starter jackets, pro model caps, Jordan tennis shoes, Cortez, British Nikes, Adidas, all these different things. So it was a different time. And it's not like today where you gotta win a lottery just to buy some shoes. It was a time where you actually could go to a store, touch, put on the shoe, walk around with them on, see if they fit good, see if there's something that you really wanted to do, and you bought them. So again, it was a different time. You go up in the 2000s, everything was just technologically, things started to advance. You started getting things, cell phones and beepers and two-ways and all of these different things started to catch up. So what I'm saying is, it's just one of those things where your age, you've experienced a whole lot. You've seen a whole lot just based on society's notion of just kind of being there. And in my mind, at me being 43, never looked at as if I was old. Anything that's new, I'm on it. Anything that's some type of high tech and advanced, I'm on it. To the point where a lot of the younger guys, kids I teach, kids I coach, my son even to an extent, I'm more hipper than a lot of the youngsters, because I'm always up to date on things. And so when I look at somebody like LeBron James, having 3 kids, being a family man, being a husband, being a son, you follow his life on social media, you see a lot of different things to where he's just a hip individual. He didn't get to this point by being a billionaire, just being lame and kind of out of touch. Now, it's different folks that can, you can talk about different things and say, how lame he is for this and lame he is for that, whatever the case may be. But being a 40-year-old billionaire and on the cutting edge of all of these different things that are going on, whether if it's in the league or if it's just in sports in general, he's right there in the mix of things. So playing basketball at 40, did he defy the odds? I'm going to say he did, because no matter what you say about him, this is a situation where all of the expectations that came out of the gate with him being at age 17, 18, nobody thought that he was going to have a career like he had, and not just have a career like he had, but just surpassing a lot of the expectations that a lot of people put on him. Because I think at a certain point, I think the person that you can kind of say that his career was kind of headed down that same road was somebody like a Magic Johnson, a young, hungry player from a position that you've never seen before, a 6'9", 6'8" point guard. The game had never saw anything like that. You kind of really never saw anything like a LeBron that's a 6'8" football player, physique, big, huge, but was a guard, and it's kind of not like when Kobe came out of high school. Kobe kind of looked like a high school player. When LeBron came out of high school, he looked like he belonged. He looked like he needed to be in the conversation for an elite athlete. So what are some of the characteristics that you see in LeBron that makes you say, man, this guy's playing at an ultimate level? Well, first thing that come to mind is the physique, is the physical and the mental challenge of just being a professional. Okay. This guy works out. If you look at some of the information that's online about the amount of money that he spends on his body, a lot of folks are not doing that. You heard the stories of Shaq, how Shaq worked out once he got to the league. He always used to say that he would get out of shape in the off season and then use the season to get in shape. Well, somebody like LeBron is just always in shape, whether if it's his diet, whether if it's the things that he works on as far as working out before a game, and the thing he works on and works out after the game. That takes a toll on folks. Okay. So the physical and the mental part of being a professional, is a lot. I talk to colleagues at work, and it seems like if you're in education, everybody is looking for when is the next break, when is the next, winter break, fall break, summer break, when is the next holiday, when is somebody that's of a LeBron James status, and the type of person he is looking to just dominate. I mean, this guy just dominated in the Olympics, turned right back around and jumped right back into the league where, regardless if the team is not performing well, he's always in the conversation for first team All NBA, second team All NBA, third team All NBA, which is probably top 15 players in the NBA on any given year at age 40. So that's just kind of crazy to me that this guy's continuing to be like that at this level. All right, so we kind of talked about the physical and the mental challenge that it kind of takes to be age 40 and continuing to play this game, which again is just is crazy. I just recently played yesterday with the kids on the team. We played a 3-on-3 contest. We played to 10. And I'm gonna be totally honest. My body and me probably working out maybe once or twice a week. It's gonna be a lot more. This is the new year. It's gonna be a lot more. Try to crank it up to at least 4 times a week. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but I'm just speaking from myself that I don't need to do a whole lot. Push-ups, sit-ups, stretching. At my age, I'm not trying to play professionally. That's all I need. When we get closer to the spring, closer to the summertime, then I'll start, pumping a little iron to get the arms looking nice, get the chest looking nice, the abs, doing a little running outside when it starts to warm up. But I'm not playing for anything. All I'm doing is playing for making sure that I'm able to get up for work the next day and to be around the gym on a regular basis. So when someone calls me out, I'm not looking like I'm huffing and puffing or out of shape. So here a guy is 40 years old, his mental and physical is intact. What does his training routine look like? Well, I'm gonna be the first one to just say, again, this guy spends so much money on taking care of his body. He has a team trainer, but he also has a trainer that he physically works with on a regular basis before and after games. Now, ask yourself, at age 40, are you putting in that type of work just to get up and punch the clock and clock back out in the afternoon and go home? You're probably not. So again, that's just so amazing that this person can continue to try to play it at a high level, is working out probably twice a day and in season and is doing this to entertain us at 7:00 almost every other night, every other day. That's just crazy. So let's look at a training routine. When I was in college, the biggest thing was managing time. Okay. And I'll just take you through behind the curtains a little bit. Let's say you get up for a 6 a.m. workout, and the workout is probably going to be like an hour. Okay. So you go from 6 to 7, you're working out, lifting weights, doing some stretching, doing some things that you're going to need to on a daily basis improve on, because again, if you're a professional athlete, if you are a high-level college athlete, all of this is just performing art. All right. You have to be able to perform your art, and your art is entertainment for a lot of people all over the country. So you get up at 6 a.m., do a 6 a.m. workout from 6 to 7, go back home, shower, then you got to get ready for class. After class, you want to get something to eat. And you probably got practice again at probably 2:30, 2:00, 3:00. And you're going to probably practice from maybe 3 to about 6. And then after that, you're going to go eat, because the cafeteria is probably going to close at like 7 or 8. So you got to make sure you get your meal in. Okay. After your meal, a lot of guys have to go to study hall. You got to get your books together. You got to go study. Some guys may have classes depending on if you're in some type of math or science degree or something like that. You're going to have a lot of homework. And then at some point, you got to make a decision. So it's going to be about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, some programs 10 o'clock. You got to make a decision. Do I want to party? Do I want to hang out? Do I want to hang out with my girlfriend? Do I want to hang out with the bros? Because you got to get up and do it all over again the next day. So time management becomes very important. So when you look at somebody that's 40 years old, professional athlete, he probably has so many businesses that he's either the pitch man on, he's probably the face of a lot of products. He has a decision that he's going to make. Do I spend my time with my family and my loved ones? Because I mean, I'm a professional athlete. They have to share me with the world. So do I want to spend time with my family, or do I want to be out in people's faces, all over social media, whatever the case may be? And can I continue to do that year in and year out? LeBron has shown he can do that year in and year out at age 40. He's done a great job with his kids. He's done a great job with the woman that he loves, his wife, that he's been with since high school. And he's doing a great job entertaining the fans and entertaining the casual NBA watcher. So that right there is, I mean, it's a lot to handle. But again, it's your decisions, it's your choices. Okay. So his training routine has to be regimented towards playing, taking care of his business, and then being able to be a father, be a husband in the midst of watching his kid. And from the looks of a lot of different things we see, he's at games, he's very supportive, and you see that the kids are model citizens, regardless if you like or dislike the way he handles things. You really never hear about these kids being bad kids. Okay. So you get through with all of that. You train, you work out, you got your physical, you got your mental intact. All right. You got your scheduling down. So you know when you're working out, when you're spending time with your family, vice versa. Here's the other part that I think, and I kind of hinted on it a little bit, being late at night, you need time to rest, your recovery. What does your recovery look like? And I'm quick to say is that when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you can party, drink the Hennessy, drink the vodka, drink all of the stuff that you need to drink to party and do all that stuff. And you can get back up the next day and be back at it. As you start to get 30, 35, 40, that drink can wipe you out for almost a whole week. Not to mention your performance. So what does your recovery look like? All right. Are you doing the things necessary for you to get right back out there the next day? Play at a high level, rest, recover, take care of your body, get right back out there the next day to do the same thing all over again. Are you willing to do that? Just the average Joe on the street. Are you willing to do that just for your life? A lot of folks are not. Just the amount of discipline, the amount of dedication that it's going to take just to hop right back up. You got to be able to take care of yourself. So keep that in mind, college athlete, professional athlete. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, you better get you some rest. You at least need 8 to 10 hours of sleep for you to hop right back up the next day to perform at a high level. Okay. So again, the recovery is so important. And so what are some of the things that you can do to recover, coach? It's a lot of different things you can do to recover. Stretching is the main thing. I dealt with a back injury all of last year, and a lot of people didn't know this, but the sciatica, is very common in people. You hear about it a lot in pregnant women. You hear about it a lot in the weekend warriors, the guys who continue to keep playing. Back spasms, back can go out. And until you have a back injury, you really don't know and understand the value of a stretch. I'm gonna say that again. Until you have a back injury, you truly don't understand the importance of a stretch in being an athlete. I mean, you got to take care of your body, and a lot of it is just stretching. Now, I say that, and I'm not always the one that likes to stretch after I finish working out. But me dealing with a sciatica and dealing with those type of injuries last year, every time I work out, every time I do something, I have to get a stretch in, whether if it's foam rolling or laying on a yoga mat and stretching, because those things right there allows me to play, and not just at a high level with someone like a LeBron, but at a level to where I feel good, I'm competitive, I'm not old, I'm not feeling old in that sense, but I'm working out, But at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you're eating right. You have a great diet. You're not just putting a whole bunch of mess in your body. You got to make sure that you have a performance base of doing things. So that's one. All right. So one thing that I really want folks to get from this is to understand that it's about consistency. And I think that's where I can admire someone like a LeBron, just based off the consistency factor. Because again, some of these guys that I'm seeing, and I'm just strictly talking about professional athletes, what I really want you guys to do is take what I'm saying about professional athletes and apply them to yourself. All right. Can you be consistent with the things that you do? All right. And it's not just about, playing at 40. I'm saying playing basketball at 40 because that's what I'm involved in. That's my life. But what are some other things that you can be doing at a high level at age 40 to where you don't feel like or think about like, hey, I'm a dinosaur. I can't do this. I can't do that. Nah, apply what I'm saying to your life. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we live vicariously through a lot of these athletes, no matter who it is. And I like to take the things that I'm watching and I'm seeing from an entertainment perspective and apply it to my day to day. This is why these guys become superstars. It's all about inspiration. Can these guys inspire you to do, some great things, and I think a lot of times, you look at them and you say, oh man, these guys are millionaires. They have everything at their disposal and this, that, and the third. But here's the thing. You can be a millionaire with a millionaire thought process. That's the wealth part that you should try to get from these guys. When you look at guys that are high value or considered superstars or maybe stars in their own right, what are they doing in their lives that you can apply to yourself so you can get some of that status? And at the end of the day, it could just be something as, using these guys as inspiration, So yeah, I just want to kind of point out some things just based on this whole being competitive, doing competitive things at age 40, because again, it's 40 years old. Your age is it's a thought process, I'm lucky enough that I can remember how things were in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, That's what gives me a certain edge to where I know that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, And a lot of people, you see folks, because I was always like this, sitting on the sideline when I was a teenager. Man, I want to try to get in that league, man, or play with these guys because that's where the big boys play, Then you get there, you one of the big boys, and the first thing that you come to mind, man, I wish I had them young legs. I wish I had that young back. I wish I had that young, everything, So guys, take advantage of your youth, but be able to sprinkle in some of this knowledge that the older guys, the veterans, are kind of putting into you so you can have aspirations to one day playing in the 40 and over league. 30 and over league. That was always my inspiration. I couldn't wait to get to the 40 and over league to play. And I'm still coming. So you guys out there that call me every summer that's seeing if I can still go, if I can still do this, that, and the third. I'm coming in the 40 and over league, but I got to make sure that I'm in top-notch shape to where I don't get injured or I don't get hurt. Because as we get older, and you already know this, even though age is a number, age is a mentality. If your body has been through a whole lot of different things, you're gonna feel sore. You're gonna have stamina issues. You know, you're gonna have agility issues. You're gonna have strength issues. You know, so this is all. It all comes with the game. But what are you doing with it? Do you have strategies? Do you have dieting tips that you're doing? Because if you're gonna play, which, like I said, my aspirations is to play in the 40 and over league at some point. My diet got to be on point. You know, my agility got to be there. You know, I gotta keep stretching, and I gotta make sure that I'm loose. Because the last time I played in the 35 and over league, I got injured, busted my foot up, ruptured my Achilles, not taking the stretching serious. Okay, and also wearing terrible shoes. And I'm gonna have to do a video on that too, because it's a lot of guys out here that are walking around playing in these Jordans that they were made in the 90s or made for the 90s with the 90s technology, but the material is not 2000 type material, and you just ripping your feet up and your feet are sore and all these different type of things. So I'm gonna do a video on that at some other point. But again, I want to just highlight these points before I head out, because this is some good information, you know. Having some resilience, having some basketball IQ, having some workout IQ. One thing that I hate is when I go to the gym, I go to workout spaces, and someone as old as me, 40 years old, don't know how to work the workout equipment. You know, you went this long without working out that you feel out of place in an actual gym. So don't get like that. Okay. If nothing else, use a track or something, or a treadmill, and just kind of walk around to keep the blood flowing to get loose. So if you ever decide to step on the court after age 40 to play a game, you're not totally out of shape. We kind of talked on again when you have to balance your life out. You got to make sure that you have balance in your routine, balance in your rest, balance in just balance overall. You know, like I said, on the professional side, the professional athletes, man, they have a job to do, and these guys also have families. But at the same time, if you are a spouse of a professional athlete, if you are a spouse of a competitive 40 and over person, you have to pick up the slack for them on a lot of different things in order for them to continue their routine, their regiment, their day-to-day. So it's a balance. You know, you gotta, some of your spouses gotta kind of help out and lean in to kind of help the breadwinner out in certain instances. Okay. I'm going to advise you guys to get a workout routine, see what works for you. If 3 times a week doing upper body things, just push-ups and sit-ups and arm curls, if that works for you, man, stick to it. Don't try to be 40 and over, 40 years old, trying to do all this new school stuff. You 40 years old, but you jumping on the Vertimax. You 40 years old, but you doing these workouts to get you some hops. And for what? What are you trying to dunk for at age 40 in a pickup game? So that's just something just to kind of think about, because I want to see some of you guys out there in the 40 and over league, and I want to see you guys making sure that you're not hurting me and I'm not hurting you. Okay. But again, this is, we look at somebody like LeBron James playing competitively at age 40. In the world of sports, there's been a lot of folks who have reached this accomplishment, but not pretty much at the level that this guy is doing. Right now, what comes to my mind when I'm thinking people, playing at a high level over 40, someone like Vince Carter. Vince Carter played at a high level at age 40, and he was still out there dunking, helping out, doing some different things. But he excelled later in his career. Jason Kidd was someone who was old that continued to play, and then as soon as he was finished playing, I believe Jason Kidd transitioned right into coaching. But he was one that was old, playing at a high level. Someone like Tom Brady, man, think about Tom Brady, what he was able to accomplish after the age 40. I think he came back and won another Super Bowl, playing at a super high level, just racking them up. And it was whispers of him coming back playing again and again and again. And so, yeah, so it's been done. So take some advice or take some inspiration for someone like a Vince Carter or Tom Brady. Even when you look at someone like a Serena Williams, I mean, Serena played well into her, she was kind of up there when it came to playing competitively, maybe at age 40 or close to it. So she's one that just come to my mind. Okay. So again, it's a lot of people that are not famous that we see, that we admire, and we like, man, they defying the odds, And I hope to be that type of person one day. Like I said, when people see me, they don't realize that I'm 43 years old, that my next decade is going to be age 50. So I want to try to keep this up. I thought this would be a nice starting talking point for the first episode of this year of the Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast. And it goes hand in hand with the New Year's resolution that we hear a lot of folks talk about at the beginning of the year, how to maintain their health, how to maintain their fitness, but not just that, having a mentality to start something, but continue to do it because it has to be a lifestyle. Okay. Has to be a lifestyle. So yeah, I hope we got some good takeaways from this. Man, appreciate folks listening to me, man, getting back out there, getting on these podcast streets, and getting some content out there for folks to kind of, get inspired and to get going. And like I said, hopefully this will inspire whoever's listening, not just in St. Louis, not just in the United States, but all over the world, to just maintain a sense of health. Health is wealth. Maintain a sense of empowerment, knowing that as the older you get, we're blessed to be here for a long time, to, like I said, see a couple generations, and knowing that this is just great, that you're able to continue to be motivated and strive for greatness and strive to do different things and be that inspiration. It's probably someone in your family right now that's looking up to you, and they want to see how you're going to handle things. Not just being competitive at 40 is just something that we're just, taking lightly, but it's something to inspire to have, something to inspire to do, and to be competitive at all aspects of your life when you start to get a little older. Okay. Quick question I'm gonna leave you guys with: have you or someone played sports at age 40? All right. If so, tell me in the comment section. Hit me up on all my social medias and kind of tell me, like, man, Coach, you inspired me at age 40 to get out here and start moving around and doing things. I want to be here for my kids, because that's the other thing, is that I always wanted to be the inspiration to my own, and I got a 13-year-old right now who's looking at everything I'm doing. I would hate to not be able to compete or play at a high level. So that's something that I'm motivated to continue to just pump into him. So hopefully you can be that person that inspires the next generation, or inspire someone in your own family to work out, to stay at it, and not give up. So appreciate your time. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you follow me on all my social medias, whether if it's on Twitter, it's on X, on Facebook, Coach Bryan Turner, Coach BT, BryanTurnerBasketball.com, all of that good stuff. All right. We back out here on these YouTube streets, on these podcast streets. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I will catch you on the next broadcast.